Okay, perfect. So welcome to the Facebook Pixel webinar training, Smarter Way to Enroll More Students. So what we will cover during this webinar: how to, number one, set up your Facebook Pixel; two, how to install the Facebook Pixel; and three, how to use the Facebook Pixel with your ads. But before we jump into this, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a background about me, both on a personal and professional level. Again, my name is Steven Reinstein, and I am the founder of Market Muscles. Market Muscles is an internet marketing company that works specifically with martial arts schools, enabling them to save time, make more money, and beat out their competition with various different internet marketing resources. We currently work with over 100 schools, in which we've helped them generate over $1 million in revenue over the past 10 months by enrolling more students directly through the internet. I've also been a karate student since the age of 2.5. And seriously, that's a picture of me. Hopefully you guys can see that front and center. I think this was 92 or 93. But luckily I had two older brothers that were training in karate at the time as well, so I was able to get in young, and my crazy sensei, I guess, took me on at such a young age. But to this day, I still travel to Okinawa every year as part of my training with the same sensei that you saw in that previous picture. So it's great to be part of a organization and to have a sensei that I'm still training with to this day. So a little bit about my professional experience, more on the web side. I started my journey in the web world around 15 years ago, and since then I've had the opportunity to work with some of the largest startups and organizations in the US. In a previous time, I've built websites for Silicon Valley-based startups and aided them in the process of raising over $80 million in investments. I've also created websites and have been part of marketing campaigns for some of the largest political campaigns and organizations in the US. And I won't jump into exactly which ones for obvious reasons, but rest assured, these experiences have given me a very unique insight into how other industries market themselves. So why are you here? So if you're on this webinar, you joined for a very specific reason, and that's to build an ongoing pipeline of new leads through your website and to enroll more students. Now, I don't like to guarantee anything specifically, but I will say that if you take the strategies and techniques that I'm going to present to you guys with a properly built lead generating website, you're going to enroll more students and ultimately grow your school. Simply put, what would it be like to show up to your school in the morning and see email after email of people coming directly to you from your community, asking you for more information about your programs? And remember, we're talking about inbound marketing here, so that means people are coming to you directly. Now, this is a live webinar, meaning we're going to get into some training here. So I do suggest if you guys can close down any distractions, turn the phone off, and then also if you guys are able to, I'm not sure if you have two screens or not, but this is a great opportunity to put the webinar on one screen and then put the business.facebook.com, which is the website that we're going to be working with, on another screen. If not, I'm going to be talking through the different steps, so you might have to switch back and forth, but let's hop right into it. So first thing that you see here on my screen is the business.facebook.com homepage. So I'm already logged in. If you're not logged in already, on the top right, there'll be the ability for you to log in, and you can just sign in with your regular Facebook account that you use to manage your page through facebook.com. So the business manager is set up very specifically for you to have tools for doing lots of different actions for your business. So you can create ads, you can create audiences, you can look at insights, you can do a bunch of different things within the business manager. So this is definitely a good place to get familiar with. But once you log in, you'll see that the top bar will change, and you will have a section here on the top left that opens up a menu. So if I click on this, for me it's showing some frequently used items, but if you've never been here before, it might not show. But if you hover over all tools, you can see a large menu displays, and there's a lot of options here. The options that we're going to be working with specifically is going to be pixels, audiences, and then ads manager. But you can see that there's a lot of tools in here, and it's something that I definitely suggest that you jump into just to kind of get yourself familiarized with it. But you can see there's a lot of analytics here, there's a lot of insights, and Potentially in another training, we'll get into how to use those insights, but there's a lot of information that's available based on the people who are interacting with your page that you can take advantage of. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and from this menu, we're going to select pixels. Now, once this page displays, you should see here that it has this three-step process of creating your pixel. And then there's this green button here in the center that says Set Up Pixel. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now, what pops up here is two different options. So the first option here says use an integration or tag manager or copy and paste the code. For the purpose of this training, we're going to choose the second option. So copy and paste the code. Great. So what comes up here is another pop-up that has this three-step process. The first step is going to be copying your code. So what Facebook does is it gives you the code that you need to install on your website, which is going to allow you to start tracking people. Now, contingent on what website service that you use, the process for installing your code is going to be a little bit different. So we're not going to hop into exactly every single different website and how to install it. But I will say for the more common ones, like for instance, if you're using Wix, if you just Google Wix Facebook Pixel, they have like very 5, maybe 10-step easy process to follow of how to install this. And then this code is exactly the code that you're going to need. So if you hit copy code to clipboard, that means you can go and you can paste it somewhere else. If you're using Squarespace, same thing, just Google Squarespace Facebook Pixel, they have their own method. If you use your own website, so let's say it's a WordPress website, you can install a plugin. So if you search for a plugin, just search for Facebook Pixel, install the plugin, it'll allow you to paste it in. If you are a code ninja and you understand code, you can simply paste this within the head tags of your code. I know this might be speaking another language for some people, but that's another way to do it. Or if you are a Market Muscles customer and you have your website with us, I'd be happy to install this. There's actually a button. If you scroll down, there's a button here that says email instructions. And if you have a webmaster, or if I'm your webmaster, you can just simply type in an email. And these details get sent to that person and they can help you install it. So we can still continue without you actually having the Pixel installed yet. But contingent on what website provider you have, you'll have to do something a little bit different to have this properly installed. So at this point, now that the Pixel is created, we'll continue on with the training. So I just closed the box out and I'm going to go back up to the top left where it said Pixels. And at this point, I'm going to select Audiences. So either you can go to All Tools and then select Audiences, or for me, it's in the Frequently Used menu item up top. So I click on Audiences. Perfect. So if you've never created an audience, this is what it should look like. So you have 3 different options here. You have custom audiences, lookalike audiences, and then saved audiences. And for the purpose of this training, we're going to start with create a custom audience. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that blue button here, and then we're given 4 different options. So the 4 different options that we have here, we have the first one, customer file. Second one is website traffic. Third is app activity. And then the 4th one is engagement on Facebook. So just to explain quickly what these are, customer file, essentially you're able to upload, if you have, let's say, an Excel document of all leads or all members that you have, you can upload your own Excel document. And what it does is it takes those details and it matches it up with people on Facebook. So you'll have to have a name and an email, and then it compares and it'll serve ads specifically to those people. So that's creating one audience. The next one is website traffic, which is the one that we're going to use, and that just means we're going to create an audience based off of people who have been to your website. And with the Pixel, we're tracking every single person who comes to your website. The last 2, app activity, engagement on Facebook, we won't really jump into because we don't have an app that we'll be using. And we could use the engagement on Facebook, just people who have engaged with your page, but there are better ways to create audiences, so we're going to choose that one. So for now, let's go ahead and select website traffic. Perfect. And now we have this new interface here that pops up that allows us to set some different settings. So just to explain what you're seeing here, first you have the Pixel. So if you've created a Pixel, it shows red, which means that it's not been installed yet. So once it is properly installed on your website, Facebook will automatically detect that, and it'll turn green, which indicates that it is tracking people properly. The next item you see here is website traffic. If you click this drop down, you'll see a bunch of different menu options, and we're going to get into those. But for right now, let's go ahead and leave it at anyone who visits your website. So essentially what that means is we are tracking anyone who visits any page of your website. It doesn't matter whether they're on the home page, if they're on a specific program page, contact page, any page on your website, we're tracking them. And then we can specify in the last how many days do we want to track. So let's say someone comes to your site and the last time they've been on your site was 60 days ago. Well, they don't fall into this criteria that we're creating right now. But the highest number that you can set here is 120 days, but I do not suggest creating that because someone who was on your website 3-4 months ago is probably someone that you don't want to target, because if they haven't been back, then they're probably not as interested in your program right now. I mean, it's still good to put ads in front of them, but for remarketing, you really want to strike while the iron is hot. So you want to target people who have been on your website more recently. So we'll leave this at 30 days. I mean, you might even want to bring that down a little bit, but we can leave that at 30 days. And then the next field we have here is just giving this audience a name. So I'll just go ahead and put website traffic as the name. And then I'll hit create audience. Perfect. So the next screen that it automatically brings us to is a list of all the audiences that we have created. So just to go down column by column, name, this is just a name that we put in. Type, we already selected that, it's a custom audience. Size, so once it's actually tracking people, it'll tell you how many people it's tracked and how many people you'll be able to display your ad to that have been on your website in the past 30 days. The next is availability. So this is currently we have not installed our pixel, so it's showing red, but once you do, it'll turn green. It'll say pixel has been installed, and it'll tell you the last time that it's tracked somebody. And then the date that it's been created. Great. So now we have an audience of people who have come to our website. So when we go in and we create our ad, which we're going to do in just a minute, we know that these are people who have heard of your brand already. So it's good and it's important to think of different ways to market to different audiences. So for instance, someone who has never been to your website before, you might speak to them one way, where people who have heard of your brand, you might speak to them in a totally different way. So this is where it kind of gets good to become more creative with your language and the way that you present your ads. But for right now, let's go ahead and get into actually creating an ad. So they put this convenient button here up on the top right, this green button that says create ad, because that's typically the next step that you take after creating an audience. So I'll go ahead and click on that. And I'm going to go ahead and click start over. That shouldn't have popped up for you guys. What you should see though is your campaign objective. Now, there's always a lot of questions about what objective you should choose, and for the most part it depends on what type of campaign that you're creating. So for targeting people who have been to your website, it's still a relatively broad campaign. Whereas we're going to get into some very specific ones in a couple of minutes here. So it's good when you're creating a new ad campaign to start with traffic, this option here, as just a general consideration for your marketing objective. Now, as things start to become more targeted and you're targeting people who have already taken steps of, let's say they've opted into your website, but they haven't purchased a trial, then your objective might become conversions or lead generation. So things might change, but for this ad that we're going to create right now, we're going to select traffic. So if I click on traffic, it's going to ask you to give your campaign a name. So I will just say website traffic for the name, sure. And then create ad account, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And what you'll end up here is the display to create your ad. And if you guys have ever created ads on Facebook, this shouldn't be new for you guys, but for those that haven't, this screen is essentially where you select your targeting. This is where that you'll select your audience, you'll select how much money that you want to spend, how long you want to run the ad for, so all of these different details that you can get into. And you'll see as I scroll down, all these targeting options are here, what the age group I want to choose, gender, detailed targeting, so you can get into crazy demographics of all these things that Facebook is tracking, budget, etc., etc. But what you will see here is there is a field called custom audiences. Now, if I click into this, you'll see that audience that we had just created should display in this list. So website traffic. Now, if I click on this, what it's doing is it's targeting everybody who has been to our website automatically just by clicking that custom audience. Now, currently it's saying like estimates for your audience size are unavailable. That's because it really hasn't tracked anyone. And typically once you have your pixel installed and once you've created your audience, you need to give it a couple hours for it to actually start tracking people. But you can see simply here by going into this custom audiences spot and then by clicking into this area, it's very simple to select the audience that you have created. So from here, you can go through and you can start, you could leave all of this stuff blank and normal because it's just going to pick people who have been on your website. Typically you don't want to start narrowing it down even further than that unless you have an immense amount of people who are coming to your website. But instead of getting into these targeting options, what we want to do is we want to get into creating an audience that's a lot more specific. So just to recap, what we've done so far is we've created our pixel, we've created an audience, and the rules that we set on that audience is they have to be website visitors, so any page, and they had to have been on the website in the past 30 days. And then we went into our ads manager and we created an ad and selected that audience. But that's still very broad. So for instance, current members probably go to your website, right? Like if they're looking for the schedule, or if they are reading your blog, or if they were looking for your phone number because they had to give you a call about something. So it would be wasted marketing dollars to target people who are currently members, right? And we want to make sure that every single dollar that we're spending in marketing is going towards people that will convert to eventual members. And we don't want to waste it on people who are already members or have no interest in becoming members. So for instance, when you create a campaign and you do very broad targeting, so let's say you're targeting your city and you're targeting women between the ages 25 and 45. That's a very generic kids martial arts target. That's good because you have a very large reach, but there's a chance that you're wasting money by being so broad with your targeting that you're getting people who are clicking on your ad or viewing your ad, depending on how your ad is set up, that aren't actually relevant. So you're wasting money essentially, and we don't want to waste money when we target with Facebook. I mean, that's one of the benefits of really using Facebook and using the ad platform that they offer is how specific that we can be. If we wanted to be broad, then you could do your mailers, you could do these different options that are out there, but we want to use the tools that Facebook gives us to be as specific as we can. So let's hop back. I'm actually going to go ahead and click back up here, and I'm going to leave this page. This will bring us back to our audience page, and we want to create another audience. So if I click create audience here on the top left, this blue button, and then I'm going to select custom audience again. Perfect. So it brings this field back up. So again, we have our pixel in the last 30 days. What we want to change this time is website traffic. Anyone who visits your website, let's go ahead and click that drop down. And then we want to select people who visit specific web pages. Now you can target people who are interested in very specific programs by the pages that they've gone to. And this is why having a properly set up website that's built for lead generation that has different program pages is so important when it comes to advertising online. So let's say a 45-year-old man that has no kids, that's overweight, might be more interested in your adult martial arts program, whereas let's say a mom that's 35 years old that has a 8-year-old child would probably be more interested in your kids program. So they probably clicked onto different program pages. So we can make the assumption that if someone has clicked onto your kids martial arts program page, they are probably interested in that program. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to bring up one of my clients' websites. So if I go to pedrosjudo.com, you'll see this is the website. If I go underneath the programs tab and click on kids martial arts, we have set up a very specific kids martial arts program page for them. Now, what I want to do here, and you can do this on your website as well if you have a program page created, you go to that page and you're going to go ahead to the top and you're going to copy that URL. And then I'm going to go back to this ads manager. If I set this dropdown to people who visit specific web pages and then leave this on URL contains, I can paste this URL and then I'm just going to click into this area here and you can see this URL has been added. Now I'm going to give this audience name, let's say website visitors dash kids martial arts. Perfect. And I create audience. Now when I go in to create an ad, and if it's a kids martial arts ad, instead of targeting everyone who's been on my website, which is what we did with this first audience that we created with website traffic, we want to target people who have been to the kids martial arts page because we know that they're interested in that program. So now we're starting to become a lot more targeted with our ads, but we can even take this a step further. So for instance, on this page, we have a very clear call to action here. And even as I scroll down the page, great storytelling here, you can see there's other options here for people to opt in to find out more information about this program. Great. So as the website builder and if you're the owner of this school, you would know that after someone fills in their information, they're taken to an offer page. So I'll go to that offer page just so you guys can see. So offer / kids martial arts. And this might be different for you guys, of course. If you're using a Market Muscles website, this should be the same for you guys. But after someone fills the info, they land on this page. It's going to show them the schedule. It's going to show them their trial. And then there's going to be this option for them just to go ahead and sign up right here and make a payment. Perfect. Now, let's go back to our audiences real quick. We can create an audience that's targeting people who have been to the kids martial arts page and then display an ad to all those people. But what if half of those people who have been to the page have already filled out their information? Do we want to serve them an ad again for that page? Probably not. That seems like a waste of money. Again, we might want to serve them an ad for actually purchasing at this point, but we don't want to serve them an ad for actually getting their information. Those are two very different objectives that we're looking at. So what we want to do, and we can do this in two different ways, but what I'll show you here is if I click on Create Audience, and then again, Custom Audience, I'm going to select Website Traffic, and then from this dropdown, I'm going to select people visiting specific web pages, but not others. So the reason why I showed you this offer page is because we can select, if I go back real quick, I'm going to go ahead and copy this URL, and I'm going to paste it into people who have been to this page, but I'm going to target people who haven't been to the offer page. And since we know that if someone fills out their information, they get automatically forwarded to this page, if I paste this in here, now I know that I'm targeting people who have been to that page, but they have never filled out their information before. I hope that concept makes sense. It's a very simple, they've been here, but they haven't been here. So I can name this audience website visitors, kids martial arts, no opt-in. And I'm going to hit create audience. Now I've created an audience of people who have been to my kids martial arts page, but they have not opted in. And I can start serving ads directly to those people. Now we can do the same thing for people who have opted in, but they haven't purchased a page or purchased a trial offer yet. So if I go back to create audience, I'm going to select custom audience again. I'm going to select website traffic. I'm going to go down to people visiting specific pages, but not others. I can actually put in the URL of this offer page into the page that they've been to. Whoops. So that'll go in the first field. And then again, as the website creator, I know that if someone fills out this information and they sign up, they're taken to a thank you page. So / thank you. I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to paste this here. Now we've created an audience of people who have opted into the kids martial arts program, but they have not purchased a trial yet. So we're creating different types of audiences, and there's a concept of having a cold audience, a warm audience, and a hot audience. So let me go ahead and give this a name real quick, and then I'll explain. So website visitors, kids martial arts, opted in, and create audience. Great. So now we have 4 different audiences. Website traffic, which is the first one we created, so that's people that have been on our website. Doesn't matter what page, what actions they've taken. That's very cold traffic. Now, as we go up, we're getting warmer and warmer until we get to hot. So people who have been to the kids martial arts page specifically, regardless of whether they've opted in or regardless of whether they have purchased a trial. Now we're getting a little bit warmer. Now people who have been to our kids martial arts page, but we know they haven't opted in yet. Now we're getting even warmer. Now people that have been to our kids martial arts page, they filled out their information, but they have not signed up for a trial online. Now that's hot traffic, meaning with hot traffic, when you create Facebook ads, you can actually send them direct offers. So your Facebook ad might be, sign up today, we're having a special 48 hours, da 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 da. Whereas your cold traffic, people that have not taken those steps yet, your ad might be a little bit different. Like here's some free information, or download this PDF, or download this e-guide. This is where you're going through that trust building process. So I talk about this a little bit through various Facebook groups or through articles that I write in MA Success, but to offer a very cheap or even trying to get money from people who are considered cold traffic is a very tough thing to do. That's like going into a bar and trying to find your wife, without actually getting to know anyone, just going up to the person and saying, hey, marry me. And that's not how relationships are built. You have to get to know the person, you want to build trust with them, et cetera, et cetera. So the same thing goes for marketing. Typically, if someone has not heard of your school before, or if they have very limited experience with your school, you want to build trust with them first. You want to give, so then when it's time for them to actually sign up, it's so hard for them to say no because they've already developed a relationship with you. They trust you. They know that they're going to get all these great benefits from it. So by creating these different levels of audiences, you can see how we're targeting people that have taken very specific actions on your page. Now, this is only possible with a properly set up website. So you can get halfway there depending on how your website is set up, but you can see when you have these pages that are created that have these different steps in your sales process, you can get very, very specific with your targeting. Now, I do want to show one other audience method here that says lookalike audience. So if I click on lookalike audience, I can choose a source. So let's say website visitors, people who have been on the kids martial arts page, they've opted in, but they haven't signed up yet. And then here I would specify United States. What this does is it looks at all these people that are part of this audience already, and it's going to create a lookalike audience based on the characteristics of these people. So what Facebook is doing is it's looking at these people that have opted in, they're interested in your program, they haven't signed up yet, and it's going to create an audience of people that might be within the same, let's say, income level, might have the same amount of kids, or different characteristics that Facebook is tracking of people. It'll look at those and it'll match it up and create an audience that is similar. So this is a good way to have targeted traffic. So like, let's say you don't have a lot of traffic coming to your website, which is a totally separate issue that needs to be addressed. There's a lot of ways to get traffic to your website, like a blog or other methods. But let's say you want to expand your reach outside of that. You can create a lookalike audience, and you can, by adjusting this number, grow how many people are in that lookalike audience. So just to give you a quick tip, the lower this number, the more targeted the lookalike audience is going to be. If you're up at a 10, it's going to return a lot of people, but it's going to be a very broad comparison. It's not going to be people that are very similar. So ideally, you want to keep it down underneath 3 if you can. That way, the people that you're actually targeting with this lookalike audience end up becoming people that are probably going to be interested in your program. So that's a good way to broaden your audience there. So just as a quick recap, 1, I showed you how to set up the pixel. 2, we went over quickly how to install it. 3, we created these different audiences. And then 4, I showed you how to create an ad and then choose one of the audiences that you've created. So at this point, we can hop back into the webinar portion. So here we are, we're back. I do want to go over a couple different internet marketing myths that kind of go around on Facebook based off of people's experiences trying to use Facebook ads. And typically when people use Facebook ads and they don't find success, it's more so about the web or their website or the way that they're approaching their ads or the copy or the graphics, and not Facebook ads as a platform. It wouldn't be so popular if it wasn't useful and it didn't work. So first myth we want to debunk: online marketing doesn't work and it's a waste of time. And this simply isn't true. Typically, martial arts school owners are just so busy with all the other day-to-day requirements of running a school that it's difficult to spend the appropriate amount of time on the online marketing. So you need a properly set up lead generating website. You need social media graphics. You have to run Facebook ads. You need to take photos and graphics to post on social media. There's a lot of work to do, and if it's not done correctly, your online marketing efforts won't be nearly as good as if you use these systems and you put them in place. So if you're someone who's tried to run Facebook ads in the past, like I was saying before, without any results, you're awesome for being brave enough to try, but more than likely your limitations with a proper website or graphics or ad copy is what held you back from being successful with it. The next item, this is going to take up a lot of time. Online marketing doesn't have to take a lot of time, and this is why we at Market Muscles have created systems that do the work for you. The websites that we built are created specifically to generate you more leads. The graphics we design are designed specifically to generate a large response from your community. But if you try and do all of this work on your own, it will definitely take a lot of time. So it's good to entrust in professionals to assist you with this portion of your business. And it's an investment that will quickly show itself to be very profitable. And then the last myth I want to debunk here is it probably costs a fortune and isn't a good investment. If your systems are set up properly, there's no better way to enroll new students than marketing online. I saw a post today in the Facebook or in the Century group. Someone was asking about Facebook ads if people have done it. There was a lot of responses of people saying, yes, I use it. It's great. It is my main marketing tool. The ROI is amazing compared to any other marketing methods. And this is true. And then there were a couple people that said, nope, didn't work for me. And then they'll never try it again, which is not good. But if you simply think of it, where are people's attention? It's gone from radio to TV, and now it's mobile devices. It doesn't matter who you see. I'm sure you see tons of parents in the lobby. Their face is probably in their phone the entire time, or watching their child, hopefully watching their child, of course. But just look at people walking around the streets. Everyone is, they have smartphones. They're looking at smartphones, and you need to be in front of their face. Simply, but to compete, you just need to be on mobile devices, advertising through online marketing methods. It's not going to be going away, and it is definitely the most powerful way to advertise currently. So, and this is a warning for everyone, I do want to make a special offer for everyone that's been part of this. We at Market Muscles do provide these services that help you with your online marketing through various different tools. And for being part of this webinar, this is the first webinar that we've hosted. I hope you guys have gotten a lot of value out of it and have a much stronger knowledge of how the Pixel works and how you can use it. But I do want to make a special offer for those members who are not currently Market Muscles members, and I'm sure any customers of ours can definitely attest to how good this is of a value. But getting into this, we do want to offer a free year of Market Muscles resources, which is a $804 value, a free month of Market Muscles website. So this is our lead generating website. So what you saw here with Pedro's Judo, everything that you saw is included with our websites, the ability to accept payment for online trials, text message notifications when someone fills out their information, a bunch of other cool features. So these two together, the actual value is $1,023, and your cost, if you wanted to get started today, would be only $200, and then it continue to $19 per month. So quickly, how to get started. Here's a quick link for you guys to write down. It's Market Muscles with no vowels in there.com/website-signup-pixels, or if you just go to our website, marketmuscles.com, go to the website section, and there's a button once you get to the pricing page to get signed up. Just make sure you use the coupon code PIXEL, which will waive your first month's fee. And I just want you guys to be totally open with reaching out to me. I'm really excited about helping the community grow when it comes to internet marketing and to answer any questions that you guys have. I'm sure those that know me know that I'm always willing to help, either hop on a phone call, whatever, or just send me a Facebook message. But my email, steven@marketmuscles.com, that goes directly to me. Facebook, shoot me a message, Steven Reinstein on Facebook, or feel free to give us a call, 866-259-0776. And a big thank you for everyone that's joined. I am going to open up the GoToWebinar here just to see if there was any questions, if anyone had any thoughts or any questions about what we went through directly. I see that we do have 2 questions here, so let me bring this up. Let's see here. I apologize because these are in the past, these questions. How long is this training scheduled for? I see that. I think I answered that. Obviously, we're over now. It's been about 40 minutes, so that's that. And then how do you get to that page? So if you missed how to get to that page, which I hope you guys didn't, it was simply business.facebook.com. And that's going to bring you to the tools that allow you to run your business through Facebook. So let me go ahead and mark those as answered. If you guys have any other questions, I will leave this open for another 30 or 45 seconds. Again, there will be a recording of this. This is currently recording. So if you guys need to hop back into this and look back at what I did, you guys are more than welcome to do that. Okay, so we do have a question here. Audience sizes have to be a certain size. What if it's not big enough? Okay, so if you're not having a big enough audience, my suggestion is to create a lookalike audience. That's going to expand your audience very quickly. The other thing that you can do is you can broaden the amount of days that you're tracking. So if you're only tracking the past 30 days, if you because you can create unlimited amounts of audiences. So if you create one that's tracking 120 days, you can create one that's tracking 60 days, one that's tracking 30 days. You can create as many as you want, essentially, and then pick which one that you want to target. But if you do want to open up your audience size quickly, definitely consider creating a lookalike audience. Great. I will leave this open just for another minute, and then we will wrap this up. Again, guys, if you have any questions after, let's say you're watching the recording at another point and you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. I would be happy to answer. But it looks like that is all the questions for now. So I just want to take a moment. Oh, actually just have one pop in. I will answer this real quick. Very interesting info. Thank you. I'll need to watch again to get some questions. Yeah, no problem. Definitely. I'll post an update once the webinar is up and live for you guys to check out. And at that point, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you got some good value out of this, and have a great day. Thanks.